Hey, Mystic Michaela, spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. Today, we are talking about perimenopause and the spiritual awakening that it will bring you. I'm going to talk about the different symptoms and what psychic gifts they are accompanied by. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. Well, I feel my role today is, if I don't say a lot, I'm going to come out a winner here.
Yes.
So the less I say, the more I'm going to win on this episode.
Well, yeah.
The more I say, the less chances of me coming out looking good. Because, I'm just going to put my foot in my mouth and say something that probably shouldn't be said.
Well, you
don't know anything about this.
You don't want to mansplain.
Yeah, I don't want to mansplain.
Menopause.
Yes, I don't want to. I don't know anything. Look, let me just say, I don't know anything about this.
Of course not.
But I'm supportive.
Yes.
Of you, and if people have it, I don't even know if you have it or not, but I'm just supportive. I'm just supportive, okay?
He's blanketly supportive of
yes,
you.
Yes. Anybody.
Whatever you're going through, Scott supports
I'm supportive, and I don't know anything, and I don't pretend to know anything, and I know nothing.
It's okay, Scott.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. I'm actually happy you told me about this topic 3 minutes before the podcast. So I basically have nothing to say.
If you can't tell, Scott lives in a home with 3 women.
Yes.
His only male accompaniment are the cats.
And they're traitors.
And they're traitors to him. So as you can tell, Scott knows that the only way to support is to just say he doesn't know anything and bring people chocolate.
Right. Yes. What do you need? I will get it for you.
What do you need? What do you need?
Yes.
Okay, you got it.
Yes.
But it's good. And honestly, that's a good advice for people. You don't always have to know everything. Okay. You just have to be kind and compassionate and a good listener.
Right.
And admit that you don't know anything. And that's fine too.
Yeah. Even Brie, not that she's going through this, obviously she's very young.
Right.
But she'll have a bad day at school.
Right.
And now I've learned to not even ask about it. I just say, "Oh, honey."
Right.
And she's like, "Thank you, Dad."
That's all you have to do.
And she's happy with that.
Yeah.
If I start to say, "Hey, I can do this," or "Let me fix that," or "Tell me about it," then she gets annoyed.
Yeah.
But if I just "Oh, honey, I know what I'm just with you."
Yeah.
That's all she wants to hear.
Yeah.
And I look up and I come out great.
You are like a star at living with women.
Right.
If somebody's like, "How do I look?" You've got, go ahead. How do I look? Do I look okay?
Yeah. Look great.
Yeah. See?
Perfect.
Right
Perfect.
there. That's all. That's it.
Yep.
He knows how to handle it.
Yes.
But I wanted to talk about, before we get into the spiritual aspects, a little science aspect of perimenopause, because I found this to be comforting. Did you know that just as you did as a teenager, in perimenopause, you're undergoing a significant growth of the prefrontal cortex, which apparently controls executive function like planning and judgment. So your brain, right now, my brain, which I totally believe, is rewiring itself. And I'm getting smarter. I'm getting better at planning and judgment.
That.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed you getting a little smarter.
I didn't notice that at all. I definitely notice feeling crazy.
Is that for men too? I probably shouldn't have been asked this, but is that for men too? Because I feel like I've gotten a little smarter.
I have no idea.
In the last few years.
I honestly don't know about men. I did 2 minutes of scientific research on this, and this was what I thought was interesting, and then I stopped.
Okay.
But I guess there is truth that as you get older, you get wiser as a woman, because that is what's happening. I do notice the brain fog is very similar to what I went through after I had the kids, and totally makes sense when I was teaching middle school and when I was a middle schooler and going through my first menstruation. So it's kind of there's a lot going on, a lot of rapid firing and a lot of rewiring. I feel like I am better at knowing my gut and being clearer with my own decisions and knowing what I want. I feel like I've gotten way better at that. I do constantly forget details of my life, though, and sometimes whole conversations. So that's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
Sometimes that's a problem.
But everything's fine.
Everything's great.
You're doing great.
I'm good. I'm here.
Yeah. Since you told me about this about 3 minutes before we started recording, I figured I had to add something. So maybe I'll just do something fun here.
Okay.
So I came up with this. Well, I didn't come up with it. I found this fun fact. That there's one other mammal, believe it or not, there's one other mammal that goes through menopause.
Okay.
Do you know? Anyone? Maybe some of our listeners
Anyone?
know.
Anyone?
I
have no idea.
No, you don't know.
Giraffes?
Good guess.
Okay.
But it's actually the orca whale.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. And, of course, Greens want to study this. So the scientists come out and they start doing their work. And I guess they go through the menopause process roughly around 30 or 40.
Okay.
Which is interesting because these whales, by the way, live to about 90.
Wow.
So you're looking at, I guess, from 50 years of, in this, what would you call this?
Pod?
Yeah, no, but like the state of
the postmenopausal state.
Right. So scientists were like, well, okay, what's their purpose then?
Yeah.
In these 50 years.
Right.
Or, what are they trying to do? What are they there for? So I guess the leader, the one that's went through.
The matriarchal.
The matriarchal leader, right, that's gone through the menopause is looking for the best. Well, show them where the best places to feed and the best places to have their babies.
Yeah.
Kind of like a grandma role where they show everyone else. That would be the role that they would have, I guess, for the last
she's like the
50
leader.
years of life. The leader in that way.
That's crazy because it could be like almost half her life or maybe even more is spent leading.
Correct.
Versus being the one that's like, giving, having babies and stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
There's a lot more information on this that I didn't understand. Obviously, some Greens got together and wanted to know this.
They wanted to know this, and they did.
Sure.
All right. So us and orcas, guys. All right. When we come back, I'm going to talk about perimenopause and how it's your spiritual awakening. And then afterwards, we have a little overtime.
Yeah, I do want to add something today, so we'll do some overtime.
Okay. Want to hear about my self-care fun night in? Okay. Big fuzzy blanket, my HC frequency music, my cat sleeping next to me, and a big old cup of Brodo bone broth. My cozy go-to drink is not tea or hot chocolate. It is clean, collagen-rich bone broth made by an award-winning chef. This podcast is sponsored by Brodo. Welcome to the hottest trend in nutrition for the last 2,000 years. Bone broth by Brodo are made from scratch. There's no concentrates, preservatives, or shortcuts, so you get the best broth money can buy. Brodo makes bone broths that are delicious enough to drink. Each cup delivers whole food protein, about 10 grams per serving, along with collagen-building amino acids, electrolytes, nutrients to support gut health, immunity, joint, skin, and general wellness, all under 50 calories and with zero sugar or fat. I like all, because there's different flavors. You can get like chicken or beef or like their hearth. I really like their beef one. It's very tasty. It's all good. But the beef one, I don't know. It tastes really good. It's very flavorful. Like I had to look at the back of the pouch like 5 times. I'm like, it's only 50 calories because it tasted really rich in a way that I was like, oh, this is good. It's like too good to be so good for you. But is broth actually good for you, or is it all just hype? Well, a 2025 study found that the amino acids in broth heal leaky guts and strengthen the immune system. In other words, there's real science behind grandma telling you to drink broth when you are sick. Shop the best broth on the planet with Brodo. Head to brodo.com/KYA for 20% off your first subscription order and use code KYA for an additional $10 off. Once again, that's brodo.com/KYA for 20% off your first subscription order and an additional $10 off when you use my promo code KYA. I have said it before and I'll say it again. Hormones are portals. They're spiritual moments, they're spiritual pathways back to your higher self, life purpose, and soul self. I talked about this in depth on episode 263 when I covered spirituality and postpartum. And I wanted to talk about it again, but with perimenopause leading up to menopause. So let's start. According to traditional Chinese medicine, there are 3 golden opportunities in a woman's life for honoring and balancing the power of creation: the start of menstruation, postpartum, and perimenopause. And if you think about this, these are pivotal moments that you've had in your life. And they're also the 3 times society loves to fail to support you. So who do you count on? You count on the small unit of women and girls around you who are there with their experience and their love and their support and their guidance and their teaching. And during these times, your body becomes a vessel open to the energy of creation. And because of this, you must shed what you were for who you are meant to be. So if you think about, if you've gone through these times of your life, even if you go back to the start of menstruation and you think about that time period, for a lot of us, it's shrouded in stress, anxiety, a coming of age, cringiness, awkwardness, some of this having to do with the shame of society, of the patriarchal society that is upon us. And I talked about this again with postpartum and postpartum depression and the link between that and how different cultures handle it versus our Western culture. So a lot of that has to do with that. But if you also think about it, at that time, my question would be, what do you remember? Do you remember having forged different relationships? Do you remember having clearer and more nuanced emotions? Do you remember thinking thoughts that were different and deeper and more filled with an awareness that you hadn't remembered possessing before? And these are all a link to our higher selves, the other side, the 5D, your own spirituality. It's very transformative during these times. And it's also very devastating. And if you're going through perimenopause/menopause, you're going through it again. And at this time, we are leaving things behind. And that's devastating, and that's sad, and we grieve it. But the good thing is you get to pick what you want to use in your rebuild. And that's what this time can also be about. So obviously, this is going to be not scientific at all. This is going to be my spiritual perspective on menopause and perimenopause today. But we all know that perimenopause is a period of time leading up to menopause, which is the complete stopping of menstruation. And it takes a while, for this to happen. So you got time. And spiritually, it's a time to really, I feel like the purpose of this time is to reorganize your life and your identity. I mean, part of your energy's evolution process is this time. Your goals are not the same as they once were, and it's time to move life around to accommodate that. So it is going to be a time not dissimilar to the start of menstruation when you're like, whoa, who am I? What is my body doing? What's going on? What do I want to, what is this? And there's not always answers, and there doesn't have to be answers. That's a false kind of thought that is put on us that if we have a problem, we have to solve it. You don't have to solve it. You just have to acknowledge it and give it grace. But I feel that perimenopause leading up to menopause is actually a spiritual awakening that has been triggered by an event or a catalyst of change in your life, which aligns with your soul cycle. Now, of course, science says it's determined by genetics, and you can't control it. And fine. I think science and spirituality are actually one and the same. I just feel like what they don't know, sometimes they're this, well, it's genetic or it's in your DNA. Sure. And it can still be something that is triggered by a spiritual awakening. To me, I feel like it's also very linked to ancestral trauma, what's going on in your chain of women leading up to you, and you kind of going through something that somebody else in your family line did. So it's kind of linking onto energy spaces and portals of time and portals of lessons past that are now being handed to you. Like, here's a basket of stuff, you sort through it. And I really feel like there's some event that happens to us that turns on this awakening in ourselves and presents itself as perimenopause. And that's how I feel. For me, it happened during the pandemic. It was in my late 30s is when the pandemic happened for me. And I noticed, I'm like, what? Because that's how you're just living your life. This is how perimenopause happens, by the way. You're just living your life. And you're like, why is my ear itchy all the time? That's so weird. I remember my grandma's ear was always itchy. Now it's all coming back to me. And then you're like, why am I gaining weight here? I'll eat different. Eating different had no change on me gaining weight there. Just little things like that. Why am I not sleeping? Why am I feeling an incredible amount of anxiety for zero reason? Why am I sweating in the middle of the night? I mean, this is just, like I said, you're just living your life and all of a sudden it comes upon you. I feel there's a moment something changes for you and your body decides to change with it. So I feel like perimenopause and menopause is a symptom of your total awakening, and you're ready to become more of your authentic self, not just the product of what your roles have made you. Interestingly enough, the pandemic is we started this podcast right before the pandemic happened. And I feel like right before we started, doing the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family Retreat, like right before, like, I feel like in my life, this teaching happened and my role started changing a little bit in my own life purpose to, I want to empower people to live their most authentic life in a bigger way, in a way that involves community. And that really aligns with when I started my perimenopause journey. And I just don't feel like that's a coincidence. I feel like my role had changed. And I feel like if, you hit the age right and it just happens to be at the same time that can happen for you, perimenopause can happen when you're ready to become more of your authentic self, not just the product of what your roles have made you. That doesn't mean if you're going through a spiritual awakening at 20, this is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, obviously there's science it is involved, and I believe in science, but I feel like if we look back for those of you who've been through this, please let us know. Was there some event or awakening that occurred with your on start of your perimenopause symptoms? Okay, when we come back, I'm going to talk about the symptoms, the common symptoms of perimenopause, because there are many, and what their spiritual meanings are, and what spiritual powers they possess for you. Let me tell you a little story about how I had no clue that I was paying for this like photo storage app, this photo storage subscription or something. I had no clue. I had it for years. And it was kind of like this weird amount that was coming out of my credit card every month that I probably just, whatever, I can't pay attention to that until I hooked up Rocket Money. Rocket Money alerted me immediately. And then within a few clicks, I was able to cancel it. One, probably wouldn't have noticed. And two, maybe wouldn't have, I hate to say it about myself, but I probably wouldn't have bothered to go through. I didn't even remember my old password, like anything to cancel it. Rocket Money just did it for me. And that's why I'm so glad I get to talk about them on the podcast today. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Not only do they help me look at what subscriptions I have going on, they also help set budgets and goals. I mean, you can get personalized insights and regular reports and receive real-time alerts for large transactions or upcoming bills, refunds, low balances. And then the app even consolidates your checking, savings, loans, and investments into a single dashboard, and that just gives like this clear view of your financial picture. So let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/KYA. That's rocketmoney.com/KYA, rocketmoney.com/KYA. Let's talk about the symptoms of perimenopause and their spiritual meanings. Okay, so again, hormones, I feel, are spiritual portals. There are strong downloads available to you as your body shifts and the veil between worlds is thinner, and these hormones allow you to like open up so that you're completely vulnerable to them. And that's why when you get these downloads, it's raw and it's real and sometimes it's harsh, but they do correlate with your symptoms. I mean, these hormones make your body off kilter. You are not recognizing yourself. You do not know who you are, and your body is totally changing. You can feel completely out of control with the link between you and your physical self. But the benefit of this is you're very open to, okay, I need a solution, information, I'm ready to listen, and Spirit knows that. So it's a great time to give you a lot of insight. You're really increasing during this time your intuition. You're becoming fine-tuned to the patterns of the world around you. And these symptoms that come with it aren't dissimilar to symptoms of spiritual ascension and spiritual awakenings. Spiritual awakenings have physical symptoms. I did a whole episode on this, and I feel like perimenopause being just a very strong and prolonged session of spiritual awakening, spiritual evolution, spiritual shedding, you do have these symptoms, and they're similar to spiritual ascension symptoms. So I just wanted to go through a couple very like common ones and talk about what I feel like their meanings are. All right, hot flashes. This one's so fun, right? Not really, but hot flashes. I mean, to me, during this time, and when I see this on other people, it's a lot. This time is really busy for your creative flow, your creative center. You could call that where your sacral chakra is. That's the energy center below your belly button, like below your navel. And this is where your sexual power is held. This is where your creativity is held. This is where you start to look at yourself as a being of power and light and somebody who can make their own way and forge their own path. This is also a place where a lot of people feel like your coil of true inner power is held. And at this time, these hot flashes are kind of like this burst of energy, like this burst of fire, and it uncoils a lot of your power and a lot of your energy. This can come across during menopause, perimenopause, and menopause as, like the mood swings, but a lot of and this is another symptom, like mood swings and being annoyed with people and being annoyed with things. It's like shadow work stuff, so when you get these feelings of rage at your partner or annoyance at mom, what's for dinner? Like that kind of thing, more than usual, you got to ask yourself, like, what is the shadow work I'm being asked to work on? Am I annoyed with my traditional biological roles? Am I annoyed with being who I spent my whole life building myself up to be? My importance of service towards others. And now I have more of this this personal sacral chakra power uncoiled in me, and I want to spend more time with myself, and I want to spend more time on my own goals, and I want to kind of just go back to the starting board and be like, you know what? I never got to do X, Y, and Z dream, and these are prioritized for me instead of sacrificing or putting it on the back burner. Like, and you don't have to have a solution today. When these mood swings come up, or and you're getting mood swings, you're getting hot flashes, just sit there and think, like, what's going on? Like what am I repressing? What am I'm surface mad at something, or I'm surface annoyed at something, but what's below that? You wake up in the middle of the night with a hot flash, maybe you got to sit with that. Maybe you have to say, okay, what are the feelings coming? What's the emotions underneath it? What is my personal power trying to tell me? Another very common symptom that I deal with, and it's a lot, guys, it's insomnia. And, there's something about not being able to sleep, like truly not being able to sleep. And if you're like me, you don't want to like just constantly take drugs or gummies or like whatever everybody always has a solution, and those are good. But like sometimes maybe during this process, you just have to accept that you're not going to sleep tonight, and if it's at all possible that you just embrace it and flow with it, instead of ignore it. And I don't mean just like binge watch something, which is I'm super guilty of, by the way. This is for me too. But maybe sit with it, maybe journal, maybe, sit outside if it's not too cold. Like maybe do something at 3 a.m., and sit with it and say like, what are these emerging patterns? Because that's really what insomnia is teaching you. Like there are new patterns for you. You don't have to do the circadian rhythm life like you have been. Perhaps there's a different rhythm and it's calling to you. Perhaps that rhythm is asking you to honor your body and what your body needs right now, and yes, it's unfortunate because we don't all have work schedules that are conducive to us taking a nap at 1 p.m., and staying awake from 3 to 6 a.m., and I understand that. But if it's possible, or when it's possible, or even if it's not possible, realize that your body is calling to you different patterns, and those patterns are trying to connect you with the flow. And this flow is asking you to become fine-tuned to the patterns of the world around you, which will lead me into, when I talk about solutions, a higher connection to nature and the rhythm of nature, seasons, moon cycles. These types of things might be affecting you more because you're just more linked to the earth's energy than you have been before. And that's why in perimenopause and menopause, I see a lot of women turning to natural remedy, holistic practices, also wanting to understand how the earth can heal. I actually just wrote a book. It'll be released in, I think, June. And it's about, energy healing. So herbs, essential oils, flowers, like what can the earth do for us and how can we learn and harness that power? I see a lot of people in this age group, my age group, kind of resonating with that and saying, oh my gosh, the answers have been here all along. Let me pay attention, and then let me teach, and let me help, and let me assist others who also want to know. So a lot of earth stuff calling to you, and I feel like insomnia has a lot to do with that. Another annoying part of perimenopause is your hair shedding. Hair loss. I mean, it is annoying. And it's real. And hair loss is interesting. A lot of times it's well, this is how I feel. I feel like it's shedding identity, who you were. I feel like it can get worse when you're fighting it. You know, it's kind of like when you're brushing your hair and that clump falls out, you have to, and after you're taking all your biotin and everything you got to do, because you got to take care of yourself, but also ask yourself, okay, what am I fighting against? Like, what needs to be let go of? Do I have to say no to more things? Do I have to reevaluate what I'm doing in the family right now? Do I have to reevaluate who I'm returning calls to? Do I have to reevaluate how I'm taking care of myself? Like, what in my identity is just begging to be let go? Because your body will talk to you, and it'll talk very, very loudly if you do not listen to it. So, and when your body talks very, very loudly, these symptoms can get way more aggressive. So my thought is, pay attention to it. Like, what is it, baby? What's going on? That's how I talk to myself. Like, I talk to my kids, like, what's it, baby? What's going on? Tell me. I can listen. And again, you don't need a solution, but you do just need to hear yourself. So a lot of that is like, what roles aren't working for you anymore? Because there's an identity that wants to be shed. There is a trauma that wants to be seen and then let go of. Like, there is something. Itchy ears, which is a weird one and something I suffer with. Maybe a lot of throat chakra stuff. So like, what, am I listening? Am I listening to people around me? Am I truly, truly hearing them? That's what I ask myself when my ears are really itchy. Or what, am I listening to myself? Am I thinking before I speak? Am I holding back too much and not speaking? When my ears are itchy, I kind of just turn to the throat chakra thing. What is up with either my resistance to listen or my resistance to speak? So just questions about that, I feel like can be helpful in the solution. Also acne, which is like you think you're over it when you're a teenager, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not, I guess. And it can be like real cystic, like angry, nasty stuff. And you're just like, ew, what is that? I feel like acne to me, and acne means anger. Like, what are you pissed off about? Like, what are you angry about? And what can we forgive? Forgiveness doesn't mean you have to go be best friends with somebody or, call them up and make amends. Like, that's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is, in my thought, forgiveness is just like letting go that it could have been different, that it couldn't have been any other way than how it happened. It's like, what? So many times something happens to us and we're like, that was whack. Like, that was so messed up. Like, that was so unfair. I'm so mad. But then like forgiveness is, what? It couldn't have happened any other way. Yeah. And I'm going to stop going through the loops of how it could have been different. That's how it was. That's how it happened. Got it. And that can be forgiveness too. And finally, that I'll talk about panic. The rising panic, just anxiety attacks, panic attacks, nightmares, anxiety. Increased connection to spiritual realms can create a body response of fight or flight. And when you're going through perimenopause/menopause, your body is so vulnerable to this spiritual energy that is always around us. It's just usually in life, we have this impenetrable bit of a wall about us. And during this time, your wall is real thin. It's real spread thin, and it's not working because it wants to hear things, and it wants to pick up, your soul wants to communicate, and it wants to pick up energy. And when that energy is pushing in like that, it can cause your body to just be like, oh, I don't like this. And then just give you stress responses because you are a biological creature with a soul stuck inside. So I find my way around this in, okay, I'm having a panic attack, I'm having anxiety, I'm having really bad nightmares, I'm having repetitive thoughts. Wow, okay, that's okay. The other side, the spiritual realm, is really powerful around me today. And my body is just responding to it, but I'm okay. I'm okay. And what do I have to hear? What do I have to listen? What do I have to pay attention to today? And just calming myself down that way. All right. I'd love to hear your symptoms and what you feel like the spiritual meanings of them are, because there's so many more. I just wanted to go through those. But when I come back, I'm going to talk about what to do next when you're in the midst of all this and how to make the most of this time. I wanted to eat better, but I really don't have like a ton of time to like think about what am I making for dinner tonight, or what ingredients do I need, or, and I don't always have energy to like put all of it together and cook it up. And listen, Factor doesn't ask you to meal prep or follow recipes. It just removes the entire problem. I mean, 2 minutes, real food done. I have to know myself. I know that cooking fancy, healthy meals for myself just wasn't in the cards. Like, I wasn't going to do it. I didn't want to set myself up for failure. But I didn't want to fail at healthy eating either. And I realized, like, I'm not failing at being creative. I'm just failing at having 3 extra hours every night. Factor is already made by chefs, designed by dietitians, and delivered to your door. You heat it up for 2 minutes and eat. I mean, they have lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, healthy fats. This is the stuff I'd make if I had the time. There's no refined sugars. There's no artificial sweeteners. There's no refined seed oils. But guess what? It tastes amazing. I'm not even like, I don't even know how to cook pork chops, okay? But they're so good. Their pork chops are so flavorful and amazing and tender. They have 100 rotating meals every week. I mean, high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean, GLP-1 support, ready to eat salads. You pick what fits your goals, healthier eating, calorie management, whatever you're trying to do. And it's always fresh. It's never frozen. It's ready in 2 minutes. There's no prep, no cleanup, no mental load. I mean, this will help you eat better. Head to factormeals.com/KYA50off and use code KYA50off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free shipping for 1 year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easier with Factor. How do we make the most of this spiritual awakening that is perimenopause/menopause? So I talked about this with insomnia and how patterns are shifting for you, and understanding the flow of yourself is important to getting into new rhythms that work for you. And again, of course, easier said than done because we do have life, and I do understand that. But just at least paying attention to it can assist you. But a big thing that I feel is helpful is nature. Nature becomes this stronger, connective, and healing space. As you age, you will find, and especially during this perimenopause, menopausal time, you will find that the rhythms of nature are not like our own all the time, or are the 3D world's understanding of them, meaning you will see in nature things change, things move, things adapt. There are patterns that shift based on what's going on out there. And you are also being asked to shift and adapt and change because you're paying more attention, you're paying increased attention, your patterns are changing. When you feel you're lacking energy, I strongly suggest turning to earth energy to support you. If you're already an earth mama, you're a turquoise or a green, you're like, yeah, on it. But if you're like me, and you're a little bit like, ew, bugs, like you do have to like work around it, but you can. There's a level of earth connection that's for everyone, I personally love grounding. That's where I just sit outside. Now, I used to do this when I lived in cold weather too. So this is just what I do. You sit outside and you just sit there as long as you can, as bundled up as you need to be, and just soak in any sort of solar vitamin D you can. To me, that, and you don't have music in, and you're not listening to anybody, and you're not on your phone, you're just out there, and you're just like a lizard, like, give me my energy, like that kind of thing. That's my version of grounding, but any way that you want to do it, it really can restore your balance. It can be a supplement. You can think of it like medicine for your soul. And you'll notice that you're going to move in different ways than the people around you do. Maybe you're awake when they're asleep. Maybe you have physical symptoms they don't relate to. Maybe you're starting to feel emotions which are nuanced. Exploring these become a focus, and it's something that in nature you may, as isolated as you, because I didn't even get into this, being perimenopausal is very isolating. Chances are you're the only one in your family that is going through this at this time. So you are like, oh my God, I'm completely alone and nobody understands me, and you'll find that when you're out there in nature and you don't feel so alone. It's almost like the earth understands it, and the nature and connection that you create with it helps you feel supported. And then you can explore all these things while you're out there and allow it to be a focus. Another thing I would definitely suggest with what to do next is please watch for resentment. It's very easy to be like, oh God, and especially with the patriarchal society we live in, there is a lot of negative attitude towards perimenopause and menopause. Why? You're not having babies anymore. So there's a lot of nasty things that people can say to you about this time. And women say it too. I think women are worse sometimes. And we see it all in the media. When women are trying to look a little younger, they get criticized. When women don't do anything, they get criticized. I mean, you just can't win. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard to not be upset with your body for changing. But your body is different than it was. Just like it was different when you got your period, when you did start menstruation, you don't look the same before, you don't look the same after. It was weird. Your body was awkward, but you adjusted, right? If you went through the experience of having a baby or going through a pregnancy, your body is different before and after. There was an adjustment period, and it's happening during this time again. There is an adjustment period. I'm going through it. Everyone you talk to is going through it. It's the most isolating experience, but every woman is and has gone through it. So any resentment for the body doing what it naturally must do and wants to do will dull your energy. So it's like, just pat yourself on the back. This is what I do with myself. My body is the ticket to the show. I always say that. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my body. I am so thankful for my body. Thank you, body, for being here and being healthy and showing up every day, all the stuff I put you through. And it's my ticket to the show, and it has to change, and it has to evolve, and it's got to move, and it's going to look a little different, and that's okay. And I'm thankful for its adjustments, and I think it's beautiful, and I think it's beautiful in other people. And sometimes if you can't think it's beautiful in yourself, I want you to start looking at other people going through it. And I want you to be like, wow, what a beautiful woman. What a beautiful lady. How graceful she holds herself. How proud she is. Look at that body and everything it's been through and how strong it is, So look at other people and have appreciation for them and their strength who've been through this. And then look at yourself, and be like, oh my gosh, I'm that strong too. And love yourself a little bit. The more you honor, listen, and love your body, the more you will be able to allow the changes to work for you. And again, it can mitigate those symptoms, because that's really what we want to do. We just want to feel okay. Another thing in the what to do, and this comes up with the shadow work, like mood swings and sacral chakra, hot flashes, stuff like that. Trauma. Trauma in the body can definitely manifest as worsened symptoms at this time. Your whole life, you've been pushing things aside because you've had roles to fulfill, duties to perform, and identity to live up to. All right. So during this time, as your body shifts, that shadow self gets bumped up against and majorly disrupted. So irritation, mood swings, depression, hormones are more than just chemicals in the brains. They're way in which spirit is knocking on these wounds and saying, hi, okay, make yourself known so we can fix you. Come on out, show me so I can put a Band-Aid on you, so I can fix you, so I can deal with you. And your body will attempt to be heard, and memories from the past, things you haven't thought about in years or stuff you shoved aside could be amplified at this time. So just give yourself some space and grace as you sort through it. Like I said, you don't have to solve a thing. You just have to acknowledge it. You may notice that addressing traumas will alleviate physical symptoms. I'm talking therapy. I'm talking journaling. I'm talking mindfulness. I'm talking about just being aware as a first step is so helpful for you to kindly deal with all this stuff that's bubbling up to the surface right now, because all your soul wants to do is clean house so that we can be kind of like unfreeze the person we actually are. Like, you are a beautiful energy that kind of got frozen at different parts of your life because you had stuff to do. And this is a great time that it's trying to unfreeze for you. And addressing trauma can help you do that. Perimenopause lasts a really long time. They say it really depends, but I think the average is like 4 years or something. There is time here to think, prepare, and accept the next stage of life. It's just a reflection of chapters and a moment to look inward to chapters you want to write. So I feel like a lot of time, because it's a spiritual awakening, your life is changing. If you're going through it, your life is actively changing. I just was looking at my life from my late 30s to now. I'm still going through it, and how much it's changed and how much it's shifted, and how different I am from then to now, and how much I like myself better, actually. And I love all parts of myself, but I really do like myself now. And I feel like this has been a lovely time for me to accept and embrace that because of this opportunity for spiritual awakening and my body nudging me into that. And finally, treatment. So I think like treating yourself is like giving yourself treatment is so essential in anything. It's just self-care. And when you take the time to pay attention to yourself, the way that you have nurtured countless people over the years. I mean, think about all the things you nurture during the day. I mean, most of you who I'm talking to are women. And think about the friends you nurture, the parents, the siblings, if you have children, the pets, the partners. How people at work. How much do you nurture during the day? Time to nurture you. And that's what treatment is, And when you spend that time nurturing you, it's amazing how much you grow and flourish and how much your soul can rise up to life purpose expectations. We just want to kind of get through this smooth, embrace it, ride it. But it's really a time for rebirth, embracing the power of it, seeing it as a transformative healing journey. I also wanted to address hormone therapy because I hear about this all the time. Like, you get a group of my age women together, what do we talk about? Perimenopause. It's what we chat about. So anyway, so many homeopathic suggestions, and then there's actually hormone therapy, which if you're my age, like your mom and your grandma were like, don't do it, because they were given like a lot of, I think, misinformation at the time. Personally, it's not for me. Medically, I can't do it anyways. But a big question I always get asked is, if I take medicine, does that inhibit my spiritual growth? I get this all the time. Honestly, I don't think so. I don't see it. I don't feel it. What I actually notice is sometimes if we do get treatment, if we feel like we need it, if we do get treatment, it actually improves our energy and actually allows us to feel more balanced, thus allowing the messages to come in more smoothly. So you do what's good for you. You're the one who needs to be listened to. Your body's talking to you at this time. And this is a time that you put yourself first for once and you become your own best friend. I want to hear all your experiences over on the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family Facebook page. And I think the biggest thing we can do at this time when we're going through it is assist, support, teach, listen, and love. Share your experiences. And this isn't like a quiet thing anymore, which is what I love about this time. Not a lot to love about this time in history, but I feel like one of the things we can love is that I feel like women are a little more vocal about the stages and seasons of life. So let's get vocal. Let's keep that going. Everyone I know, what do they talk about? GLP-1s. And I just prefer to keep needles as far away from me as possible. And I wonder if you're like that. I prefer natural options over injections. Well, this podcast is sponsored by Veracity. Welcome to an all-natural way to slim down, get energized, and sharpen your focus. Veracity is revolutionizing health by tackling the root cause of so many issues, metabolism. With Veracity's drug-free, clinically proven, and doctor-formulated solutions, you can support your body's needs to live your healthiest life. If your goal weight is out of reach feeling, you need to try Metabolism Ignite. It is the #1 doctor recommended GLP-1 booster and GLP-1 alternative. No side effects, no allergens. Metabolism Ignite is a natural, safe, plant-based aid that results in an 85% reduction in hunger and is clinically proven to lose, on average, 9 pounds in 90 days. I did try this. I have been trying it for, I want to say like several weeks now. I just have like 2 capsules with breakfast. The biggest thing I've noticed is I just feel very energized and I don't need as much coffee during the day. And it's helped me kind of just feel that extra boost without feeling any sort of drain after. And I like that Metabolism Ignite is safe for everyone, including new moms. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, Veracity is here so you can take care of yourself while you're taking care of your baby. So make the switch to GLP-1s the natural way. Head to veracityhealth.co and use code KYA for up to 45% off your order. Once again, that's veracityhealth.co for up to 45% off. And make sure you use my promo code KYA so they know I sent you. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
All right, so this is overtime.
Overtime.
Rules of overtime.
Yes.
Please go.
You can go now.
You don't want to be here.
No, time to leave.
If anything insults you, it's on you, not us.
Right. Anything that is said in this time period is on you. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Not our fault.
Honestly, this could be a little insulting.
It is.
Or something.
Well, okay, so let me
triggering.
explain. Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
This has nothing to do with
Zero.
perimenopause.
Nah. I don't know anything about that topic, by the way.
This isn't even about auras.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So
we warned you. Now we commence.
Okay. So when we were recently on a cruise.
We went to a cruise.
We went on a cruise.
Yes.
And a thing that we do as a family when we go on a cruise is they keep lists on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Bree keeps a list on me.
Yeah.
And basically the list is who have I made friends with,
Yes.
me on the cruise,
Yeah.
and who have I made enemies with
Correct.
on the cruise. And the last time we did this, we went to Alaska, and I guess I had like 7 or 8 enemies.
Yeah.
And like 2 friends.
I was one of your enemies.
You were one of the enemies, right? Because I took you on that kayaking adventure.
Oh, yeah. I talked about that years ago.
I always try to, get the list so I have more friends
Right.
than enemies. And
Right.
we always argue, who's an enemy,
Right.
who's a friend.
Right.
Okay, so Bree just sent me the list. This is
Okay.
what we bought. She's in the middle of
School.
AP chemistry.
But
and
we're
we
like,
told
send
her,
us your notes list.
Send us the notes list of friends and enemies. Okay, so I want to go through this list here. And I want to, tell you why these people are my friends and why they're not my enemies.
Right.
I don't feel they should be my enemies.
But I have to, before you get into it,
Sure.
I think I have to talk about the unique nature of a cruise and how it's just like this group of people that you're kind of stuck with for a week. And believe it or not, you start to recognize them and know them. And you can't escape from them. Right. So for some reason, like you always are the only one that has enemies on these cruises.
I guess. But I'm also one of the only people that has friends.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Well, let's see. All right. So my first friend on this cruise.
Yes.
I'll do one friend, one enemy. Okay.
Okay.
Is a guy named Naoman.
Right.
He was our state's. He did like the cabin.
Right.
And the reason why I feel he was my friend is because, whenever we'd leave, he'd be around and he would always say hello to me. Mm-hmm. And he always said, Mr. Scott.
Yeah.
And he really didn't acknowledge anybody else.
Right. That's true.
And we had, our cabin and also my sister was on. She had a cabin. And
right.
I was really the only one he would talk to.
Right. That's true.
So I feel Naomi would go into the friend list.
Right.
And is that agreed upon?
Right. Okay. So we decided that, sure, if you want to call him your friend, you can. But you were the one that kept, which is great, tipping him. Like you kept giving him like tips.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Of course, which you should. If you're on a cruise, like these people this is what they need. But you were the only one giving them the tips.
So are you claiming that I bought his friendship?
Yeah, I am.
You think I bought Naomi's friendship?
Well, he was polite to all of us.
Yes, he was.
But to call him like your friend, and like you'd sit and talk to him, you're like, I'm about to go to dinner, and then after I'm going to go to bingo. And then I don't know, I might call it early. Like you were really talking to him like he was your buddy.
That's what I'm saying.
And he was like, okay.
But you're now saying that is only because I gave him tips.
Maybe not.
All right. Let's go to one of my enemies.
Okay.
All right, so Bree has down here as my first enemy, tour guide lady.
Yes. Not even the guide lady, just tour lady.
Just someone on the tour.
Yeah, you don't even remember this.
Okay.
I'll tell you what happened.
All right.
You do remember this. It was when you're on a cruise, you go on like excursions.
Yeah.
And we went on this one that was like a bus.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to line up to get on the bus. And then Scott, classic Red Aura, I don't know, he's like Mother Duck, and you better follow him because he will leave you behind. So he just goes off. And then the three of us are like, oh my God, keep up with him, keep up with him, keep up with him.
Keep up, yeah.
And he skips everyone in line. Now, let me just preface this by saying, I know this is morally wrong. Okay. I know this is morally wrong. And I don't agree with it. But I'm also terrified of being left behind by my red or a Mother Duck man. So I'm running behind him, and we're running. And then Bree happened to be the last one, and Scott just goes right in front of everyone, hops on the bus. And then the three of us are like, excuse us, because we have to go with him. And tour guide lady goes to him, there's not tour lady. She was just a lady on the tour. She goes, there's a line, right?
Well, see.
And then Bree is like the only one that had to face her. And she was like, sorry.
Well, here's my thought of that. Okay, well, number one, everyone was walking real slow.
They were going
That's
so
slow. I didn't want to miss any tour time. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, come on, let's get, I wanted to lead these people, get them onto the bus.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, they pack these tours, these cruise ships. They want to make money, and they pack the tours.
All right.
So I wanted to make sure that you guys had a seat next to each other because, if you're the last one on the bus,
you're kind of all
you
scattered.
could be sitting next to who knows who.
Yeah, that's true.
So
no, that's true. And he's not wrong, but at the same time, it's like very awkward. And he's also so intense. Like, Scott gets so intense. He's like, let's go. And he's just like very, like, you better catch up.
Don't mess with
Anyways,
excursion days.
Tour lady, she definitely gave us nasty looks the rest of the time.
Enemy, fine.
Enemy.
All right. Next, I have down the boat captain. We went on a sailboat that took us to an incredible snorkeling spot in Bonaire.
Yeah.
And I made friends with the boat captain.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone's going to argue with this one.
Okay.
I did give him a tip at the end, but that's after we became friends.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the reason why I say we became friends is because he kind of told me his lifelong dream was to own the boat. Oh. Right now, some loser from Norway owns the boat or something. Like some absentee landlord owns this boat. Right. And he works real hard, this captain, with this boat.
It's a refinished, like, pirate boat. It's super cool.
Yeah, but he does all the hard labor.
Yeah.
And then there's some weirdo in Norway that's, like, collecting all the reward.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now he owns the boat. Now, I basically told the captain that you got to get this boat. You got to buy it off him.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out what the price is, then make him an offer he can't refuse, and you got to buy the boat. And the captain really thanked me for that advice. And the other thing I told him, and the tour was fantastic, by the way. It was a great tour.
Yeah.
But I told him ways to make the tour better.
Right.
And he also appreciated that too.
Okay.
And basically, to make these tours better is just give more snorkel time.
Yeah.
That was my advice.
That's it. Yeah.
And so I feel he really liked the knowledge I gave him, and we became friends.
All right.
And the tip came after.
Right.
So would you give me that one?
Well, I wasn't there to witness it,
right.
but both the kids were.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I need a witness, they claim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the little one, Abby, thought, yes, you guys are friends.
Okay.
But Bree said he was just listening to you because he was stuck there next to you. You were like right by the wheel.
Right.
And you had his ear.
Sure.
And, that's just what he does. He's just going to listen and agree. So it really depends which kid you listen to.
Okay. Fine. Well, I hope one day he does get that boat.
Oh, yeah.
And then I told him if he gets that boat, I'll go back on his tour. Okay.
Yeah, it was a great tour.
All right. So this one, this was like a whole group of people.
Oh, my God. This is bad, guys.
We were in Curacao.
Oh.
We were on a beautiful beach.
Yeah.
Remember the name of the beach?
Nip. It goes like KNIPP beach
something.
In Curacao.
Yeah, beautiful beach and beautiful rocky beach. And they had like this beautiful like cove, like kind of thing in the ocean that you can kind of sit in.
Right.
And I was there, and that was my spot.
All right, so let me tell you what happened. Okay. Now, again, this is your choice to be here. Because this is a lot. We're on the beach. You could call it influencer beach, okay, if you wanted to. There were so many people with, just posing on rocks and stuff. And you kind of, like, when that happens, if you're me, you don't want to be in their shot. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, they want to take a picture. They want to look like they're completely alone. They're not completely alone. It's a full beach. So like it's these influencer pictures like where some lady's on a rock in her bikini holding a 24 balloon or something.
Right.
And this is what was going on. And you're like, oh, just come on, let's get out of her way. But she is there for like 20, 30 minutes having her boyfriend take these pictures. So this was happening everywhere all over the beach. And one part was like in this like rock place that was really cool to go to, and it was like a cove, and everybody wanted to take pictures in the cove, and Scott was there, and he refused to move, and he absolutely refused to move. And then I think they were German or Dutch, I don't know, they were like,
yeah, they
spoke English.
Yeah, they spoke English.
But there was a group of them, and they came over,
yeah,
and they were like trying to take pictures of the cove, but Scott's like face is floating around in the water. Well, so imagine you're taking a picture, you're like your influencer bikini, like you're behind, you're like, and then Scott's just like grumpy face is like, meh, like behind you in every photo.
Okay.
Like floating as the current goes in and out.
Well, that's the problem.
As the current goes in and out, you're like, he's gone for a second, but then he's back.
Well, that's what it was. So I found this perfect cove. And the reason why I found this cove is because I wanted to get away from like people on their phones. Like,
right.
Here we are in Curacao in this off the beaten path beach, obviously not so off beaten path, but anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying the nature and the beauty, and I don't have my phone, and I'm just sitting there in this cove, like, and so I'm like, this is my spot. Like, I'm not bothering anyone.
Yeah.
Just leave me be. You guys go take your pictures wherever.
Yeah.
But then these people started coming over, and they're like, could you move? One of them said,
no,
could
we
you
watched
move?
this whole thing, the kids and I.
Yeah,
we were like, oh
watching.
my God.
And you guys said you had like thoughts about it. And at first, I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll move. So I said, yeah, I'll move, whatever. But that's the problem. Then there was these waves. So every time I'd move, it would bring me back to the spot. But I wasn't, so I didn't know, And then the guy asked me again, can I move? And, I would like move, but the wave would bring me back. And then finally I told him, no, I'm not moving. She's like, just leave me alone. Just go away or something. I said to him. And then like all these people around were like, oh, like appalled that I would say something like that.
And you didn't move.
And I didn't move.
And so the kids and I were watching this in the deeper water, just kind of cloustered together, the three of us. And the kids are like, oh my God, what's Dad doing? Why isn't he moving? And like we couldn't hear anything, but you could totally tell what was going on because the German group of four were all like talking about him, and it was so obvious. They were like, oh, like you could tell. And they were like looking at the picture and like pointing at him and be like, what the hell's this guy's problem? Like that. And you had this like grumpy look on your, no, you did. And I have pictures, this grumpy look on your face. And Abby's like, oh my God, he looks like an eel, like those eels that won't leave their caves. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he's refusing to move. And Bree's like, do you think he doesn't even know this is on purpose? I'm like, oh no, this is on purpose. Dad just got like oddly territorial of this cove. And it's okay, girls, just pretend you don't know him. It's no big deal, And we're watching this, and then we watch you're like, yeah. I see you like kind of saying that, like, I'm not moving, and get off your phone. Live in the moment. You said something like that. And they walked away all like, what a jerk.
Yeah. It's like,
and you stayed there the entire time. Yeah. And then we left.
Now you can go take your pictures. Go today. Right now, go take the picture. Go
Scott's
back.
Not there.
Take your picture. I'm not there.
Scott's not there. Right. So anyways, that was an enemy.
All right. So here's a friend. Okay. So every night on the cruise, we do the after dinner show.
Love it.
Love it. We love the shows.
Yeah.
And so there was a singer one night, and I don't know what kind of music was he singing?
Like rock.
Yeah, or like old, like 50s. He did like a 50s song, right? Or
sure.
something. I forgot the name of the song.
Yeah, Jersey Boys or something.
Yeah. What's the song he did? But anyway, so we were all sitting in a row, but one person from our party got up. So there was my seat, and then the seat next to me was open.
Yeah.
So there was an open seat. So all of a sudden, the singer, gets off the stage, and he's still singing, and he's coming closer, and he's looking at me now.
I think it was like, you're just too good to be true.
Yeah, you're just too good to be true.
Just can't take my eyes off of you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a male singer, by the way.
Yeah.
And, so he's like looking in my eyes, and he's like really getting like, like he wants to, get like, and look, it's me. So of course, I don't care. I'll play along. And I start like looking in his eyes, and I start singing back to him.
Yeah.
And then he sits in the empty seat next to me. He's still singing.
Yeah.
And then he gives me the microphone, and together we're singing together.
Right.
And I give him a big hug in front of everyone. And So I would say he's my friend.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was part. Now I know what your argument's going to be. It's part of the show. It's part of the show.
I don't know, because I got the feeling that when he usually does it, sometimes the men are like, they don't want to look like they're as into it or whatever. But you're not like that. And I feel like he really appreciated you going along with it. I had a feeling that he really did appreciate you.
Okay.
Going along with it.
All right, so that is because he said great harmonizing or something.
Yeah,
I
think he really had fun with you.
Okay, so you're saying
he's your
that
friend.
Is a friend.
I think that's a friend.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You gave him the energy.
Yeah, I gave him the energy back. I played along.
Right.
Totally into it. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. All right. Another one you guys have down as enemy is the security when you come back on the ship. The lady yelled at me.
Let me tell you.
Okay,
what
the lady yelled at me.
It's after this angry eel encounter at the beach. I don't know what Scott's got in his backpack. Okay, so when you go into the cruise, it's like you got to go through security like in an airport, so your backpacks have to go through the detector and stuff. I go first, and I'm with Bree, and we just go, and then we're like, wait, where is he? And we see he's been detained. And Abby's with him, and we see he's been detained. I'm like, what is going on? And all I see is this lady just taking out this huge rock.
I thought it would be good for the backyard.
This huge rock out of his backpack, and she's like, you can't bring this off the island, sir. By the way, they're very clear that you cannot bring food off the ship or anything off the ship, and you can't vice versa. You can't bring anything onto the ship. You know, it's just it's a custom.
I snuck some other stuff on.
Okay, well, you're not supposed to. So thanks for causing the next pandemic, dude. So anyway, so she's like, what are you even doing? And usually she was just like, it was huge. It was like a volleyball-sized piece of rock.
Yeah, it was,
and you're just like, I don't know what your rules are. What your stupid rules are. And then you just crouched away. And we're like, me and Brie are just like, we put our hands, oh my God. We just walk, just keep walking.
All right, it's fine.
How do you rationale that one go?
I don't know. All right, I'm running out of friends here.
Oh.
I got the head waiter, but I know you guys are going to tell me I tipped him, so I'm not even going to go to that one.
All right.
Now, there was another one, the excursion lady.
Yes.
And nobody believes me. I had booked an excursion for the last day in Aruba, and I realized it was going to be a doozy. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, nobody's going to like this. Yeah. I booked the wrong one. And usually you need a day or two to give them notice or they won't refund the tickets. Yeah. And then I saw, it was 10 o'clock at night or whatever, I saw another excursion open up that looked real good. Yeah. And it just happened to have a few spots. So I'm like, all right, let me see if the lady will do it for me. So I put on all the charm of my red blue aura, and the lady fell in love with me. And she says, I don't do this, and my shift's about to end in 3 minutes. Could you, get the old tickets for me in this time? And I'm like, yes. And I got back there, and she changed the excursion for me. And she actually charged me less money. Oh. Less money. She charged me less. The cruise company made less money on this deal.
Wow.
And so we got on the tour that we wanted instead of the tour that was not going to be so good. And I came back and told everyone about this. And then here's the rule. They all said, no, that doesn't count. Nobody witnessed it. Nobody saw that she was nice to you. That lady is not your friend.
The kids don't I guess the rule is you need a witness to have a friend. Right. But whatever. I believe you. I'll let you have it.
But fine. It's going to go down as no friend.
Okay.
All right. Then we have, apparently I splashed someone in Aruba. Yeah. I don't even know about that.
Well, Scott's an 8-year, so just, even though he's a grown man shaped, on a cruise, he's kind of 8-year-old unruly boy shaped. So you just went into now it is a beach. And
yeah, it's a beach.
The way that I am with my kids, and I've always been this way too, and other people's kids, if you splash me and I'm in the water, that's on me. You know what I mean? If some kid comes and splashes me and gets my hair wet, that's on me. Yeah, a pool anywhere. I don't like when people are don't splash. I'm we're in a pool. Jump, splash. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that. But Scott,
this is a massive beach, by the way.
I try not to do that to other people. And it is a massive beach, but Scott just dove into a wave, and some older man got splashed by him, but he was in the water.
Yeah.
But he gave you wet. All the kids and I saw him give you the nastiest look. And anyways, he's an enemy. I'm not saying he's right, but
yeah. Okay, so he could be an enemy, but he's not justified.
He's not justified.
Yeah, you're on a beach.
Everyone else, I'd give it to him, kind of.
Yeah, this is a huge beach, by the way, so there's plenty of room.
Right.
So my dive into the water
I know.
should not bother.
It's
all right.
fine.
And then
Oh, this one's bad.
All right, this one's bad.
This one's actually really bad.
I think you might be right on this one.
This one's very controversial.
There was elevator lady.
All right.
Okay, so...
do you want me to set it up or you want to do it?
You set it up. But really tell the truth here.
I'm going to tell the truth.
Okay.
We were on our way to an excursion, and we had to take the elevator, which we do avoid doing on a cruise.
Right. They get crowded sometimes.
Yeah. And so we're in the back, and it's already at capacity. Like, nobody can fit in this elevator. It is packed. Yeah. And everyone's just like, okay, you can tell everyone's just like, let's just get through this, like that. And then the doors open before we get to our, like that.
No room.
And everyone's
no
like,
room for you.
Okay. Because, you're on vacation, so you're supposed to be pleasant. So you're like, okay. But, like, I was touching people's body parts, and I didn't know them. And they were touching mine. You know what I mean? It was a lot.
Yeah.
And then the elevator, instead of going down, went up again.
Right.
And then at that point, I knew Scott was done. And he's like, I'm getting up. And so the door's open, and she's like, why is it going? And then people in the back were like, press down. Like, everybody just started screaming in the elevator. And then Scott's like, I'm getting off. We're getting off. Now, again, once Scott moves, he's like, mother duck, you got to follow him. So the lady, like, wasn't moving out of the way.
No, she wouldn't
move. Was in, like, literally the front of this door. She wasn't moving. So Scott just walked right by her. And I'm pretty sure you body checked her. She was like, oh my God. And we just ran out.
By the way, we heard that, oh my God, from the stairwell. That's how loud that oh my God was.
She didn't fall or anything, but you did I'm pretty sure you body checked
Like
her.
I told you guys last episode, I used to play ice hockey. Remember that TV show at the time? Okay.
I think you body checked her.
It's possible.
But she wasn't moving.
Yeah.
But after excuse me. Well, you didn't say excuse me. I think you said, I'm getting off, like that.
It was bad. I was in...
You said that because and the kids were in between me. So you said, I'm getting off. And I said, excuse me, like that.
Yeah.
And she wasn't moving, and then you just boom, like pushed right through her.
All right. Well, I was claustrophobic red at the time.
And you kind of freaked out. She is 100% an enemy.
Yeah, she's an enemy.
So
all right. So it basically seems like I have more enemies again this time.
So what do we learn? Bree told us that she hates cruises.
Right.
I don't know. It's the confinement of the ship.
Yeah, I think
it creates enemies for you.
I'm going to disagree with that and say she loves cruises, but refuses to acknowledge it. Yeah, but all right.
So anyways, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, that basically serves no purpose to your life, listening to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully maybe you got a laugh. I don't know.
I hope so.
But again, you're not supposed to be here. So.
Why are you here?
Right. It's on you.
All right. This podcast is for you and about you, and we're so glad you spent some time with us today.